Hey, don't let Molly know how much power she actually has. All right, I love Facebook Live. We are going to get started. All right, welcome back, universe, to Off the Rails with Tom and Mark, episode 71, our first ever 71st episode.
Coming to you on Facebook Live here at the Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty Studio in beautiful Grafton, Wisconsin.
Yeah, you haven't done that in a while.
Oh, I even stumbled through it a little bit there.
And we are here with the Hobbit Trail, comic Nate Ford and Brendan O'Day.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, guys. So, you know what? As long as you guys are sharing some stuff, let's do a little.
No.
Hello. Everybody knows comic Nate Ford, but we do not know much about Brendan O'Day. So before we get started, before anything happens, I want to throw you right on the hot seat.
Okay.
Are you ready?
It
doesn't matter. It's the hot seat. You got to be ready.
Well, all right.
All right, Brendan O'Day.
Yeah.
How would you describe your job to a child?
I don't know how to tell you this, young man, but the things that you do for free, I get paid for. I'm a childlike person. I have a childlike enthusiasm. I have a love of life that's all a lie. Absolutely none of that. But no, I just say, hey kid, you fart in class for a laugh, I get paid for that.
Okay. What is your last meal going to be on death row?
Jesus. I'm sure I'd go with cigarettes and
Cigarettes and booze.
Cigarettes and Kit Kat bars, I'm sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have a pet?
No.
Okay.
Just Nate Ford.
If you had a pet and I asked it for a reference, what would your pet say about you?
Yeah. Don't let him near the grill after the half bottle of Jack Daniels.
Do you brag about random acts of kindness you perform?
No, I brag about the huge tips I get from Uber passengers.
What's the last thing you did for the first time?
Wow, that's a great question. Last thing I did for the first time. God, can we circle back?
Yeah, we can circle
that one
back.
I would have loved to have had some time to think about. That's a great question.
That's
yeah.
not how the hot seat
Okay.
works.
I know.
That's not how the hot seat
I
works.
get it.
Well, let's do a more
Pass.
childlike.
Pass.
We'll do a childlike question here. When you poop in public, do you hover, build a nest, or just sit down?
Just sit down.
Okay. Who should play you in Hobbit Trail the movie?
The rotting corpse of John Candy.
If you could live forever, would you?
I court death on such a regular basis that clearly I have no interest in living a very long time.
Okay. Would you allow Off the Rails to post your browser history?
Sure.
All right.
Gonna erase that shit regularly, man.
I know.
No.
Post it.
Go for it. Go for it. Open book. Talk about anything.
When you shower, what's the first thing you wash?
It's boring. Hair.
Hair?
Start with the hair. Work your way down.
Okay.
It's from the car wash industry.
What would your autobiography be called?
The Memoirs of an Angry Soul.
Wow, I didn't give you these. That was a pretty good one. What's the largest?
Pretty accurate, too.
What's the largest animal you think you can beat with your bare hands?
I had a 167-pound Great Dane, and I could pretty well take her down. So I'm thinking that there's got to be some animal in that category.
We'll get that. And if you want to circle back to the last thing you did for the first
Damn, that's a great question, and because that's hard to. I mean, as old as I am, it's hard to get to.
Let's turn the tables here, Tom. What's the last thing you did for the first time?
I just ate something new the other day.
But you've eaten before, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I would say the last thing I did was try something new that I've never eaten before.
He's on the bacon-only diet now.
Yeah, I'm on
He
the
probably
keto
had
diet.
fat back for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Squirrel? Did you have squirrel for the first time?
no, I have squirrel all the
We
time.
had squirrel. Squirrel's tasty.
We'll get back.
I drove a hybrid. I endorse the concept of a hybrid car, and that's That's a while ago. It's about a year and a half ago or so.
Okay.
But I was very anti-hybrid car. Still very anti all-electric battery car because of it absolutely doesn't fit my lifestyle. I can't stop even for 45 minutes and wait something out to get a 60% charge or whatever. So, or 8 hours to wait for something to charge. And having, if you could come up with a hybrid or a battery operated car that could exceed my daily mileage limit, like you'd have to go to 1,500 miles.
Okay.
I can go 1,500 miles in a day without really stopping, and I'm cool with that.
You need battery packs.
Interchangeable battery packs, and why Elon Musk hasn't made that a thing really pisses me off, even for his trucks.
Because they'd be as
Come on,
big as this
Elon.
coffee table.
That's fine. Why wouldn't you? But think of the infrastructure you could create for that. Little robots that bring the thing out to you, and it'd be totally Star Trek, and it would be great. And that's how your semi should function. When you have interstate trucking with that. Why not just have battery packs that slide out? New battery pack slides in. Driver takes off with a fully charged battery pack.
Yeah.
Why the fuck doesn't that exist?
They have propane grills.
Right. They aren't even thinking about propane grills as they build our future. I get a little hyped up about
Speaking of
things.
future cars, what do you think of self-driving cars?
As much time as I spend on the road and as many fucking morons as I encounter on the road, as much as I'll hate it, I'll accept it. Because if it keeps the idiots who sit there on their cell phones and their text messaging while they're driving from driving into the side of my van, I'll accept.
Would you get in a self-driving
car? Sure, why not? Okay. You get in a self-driving plane every time you fly in a plane. So
Well, there's still a guy in the driver's seat.
Barely.
Just in case.
Barely.
There.
I got pilot friends that are just like landing a 767. It's Jesus take the wheel. Just bring it in. So, no.
That's how I drive all the time. Take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel.
See what happens.
Yep.
Damn, that was a weird dream. I'm still driving.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get off onto it.
No, that's okay.
I got auto show stuff on the brain. I'm going to the Chicago Auto Show on Tuesday, so I'm thinking about cars again, pretty hardcore. So,
all right. Well, let's get to just a couple announcements. Last week we had to bail on everything. We had 3 of 4 vehicles not start in the cold and stuff, and we were down to 1.
Lack of preparation.
My uncle fell off the roof and broke both his legs. I had to be in there helping out.
Wow.
On the roof we're working on.
Your uncle who was here?
No. Different uncle. Molly's sister was in the hospital. It was just snow, freezing snow, and so we put out an old video. Now you guys can see that, wow, these guys actually do get better by the week.
Hey!
Put out just
So
this
different.
crap.
Put up some perspective.
Yeah, let you know. Hey, we are getting better, guys. Look how crappy we were.
Yeah.
So
We thought this show was bad. Look at this one from 50 shows ago. Holy grapes.
So we got a new logo and brand. I'll show you guys that. It was actually focus grouped. I got it slipped into a focus group and picked that out. So
Jesus.
What focus group? Like
Molly?
through our marketing. No, it was a professional.
Hey, this one doesn't suck.
Hey, Ma. Hey, Dad. Come over here.
Professional marketing.
Did you go to like the elementary school down the road? Like, hey, kids.
No, I'm not allowed to. I can
Tape some
show it.
candy
Are
Come
they
on,
the
go
guys
away.
that determine if something should be a 5-blade or a 6-blade razor? Is that kind of focus group?
No, well, we know a guy who's a marketing guy,
Know a
and he
guy
focus
who
groups all
knows a
kinds of
guy
other
who
stuff.
knows
And
a
as
guy.
like a favor, he slipped our stuff in there.
That's very nice.
So,
That's very cool.
Pretty cool.
Is it Gillette friendly?
Yeah. Okay. That puts a lot of other things on hold.
This
though.
episode brought to you by Harry's Razors.
Now we're going to be.
Oh, wouldn't that be sweet? Get some of that Harry's Razors money.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Show all the before and after pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out this landing strip.
I'm sorry, Tom. You were talking.
That's okay. I just let it go. Well, that puts a lot of other things on hold. We're going to back off on the camera. I have to redo things that we previously paid for, like these lovely bumper stickers. Now going to have to change.
We can have multiple logos for a while.
Mark will not let his logo down.
No, see, those become collector's items
yeah.
because that's the discontinued
The classic.
logos.
Yeah.
Exactly
Off the
right.
rails classic.
Classic bumper stickers.
You can sell them for $10 and say, "Hey, these are $10. They're going out of style.
Limited
Get them now."
edition.
Yeah, exactly. See, most people get too caught up in the whole focus group thing and they forget about marketing. Go ahead and
Yeah, like new Coca-Cola over
drive
here.
that creative. Drive creative.
All right, we got
Get these bumper stickers now.
voiceover work going, so we won't have to do Roy's advertisement, which we didn't do, did we?
No.
Did we?
Hey, I want to buy a house. How can I do that?
Well, if you're looking to buy or sell a home or interested in real estate, email Roy at cbhsr.com, or give him a call, 414-235-0763. That's Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. They would love to be your go-to for all your real estate needs. We're going to be filming a commercial with Roy, and then I won't have to remember that because I don't anyway.
Hey, do you guys live in a house?
Yeah.
Do you want to live in a house?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
But
Right.
I do like
You
to
want to own
call
a house
Roy
and
at
charge
3 in the
someone else
morning.
to live in it?
No, I live in an RV, and
It's like a
By the
house on
river?
and I
wheels.
prefer being able to just, piss off and
Flick
just,
the lights twice and the
just-
lot lizards come running.
It sounds like you have some insight there,
I know a guy.
yeah. The guy's got a focus group business going on.
All right, Twisted Dreams Film Festival, April 4th through the 7th. We're going to be podcasting there. We got our VIP passes. Christopher House has an announcement. I'm not going to skate his announcement or steal his glory, but we may be a little more involved because he might be out of town for his own film festival. Ooh. So stay tuned to see what he has to say. And what's up with you guys? Let's push some of the Hobbit Trail stuff.
Well, we got a show coming up with the Hobbit Trail this Friday the 15th over in St. Nazianz, Wisconsin. That's in between Chilton and Manitowoc area. It's at Meats Opera House.
Ooh, sounds classy.
And that is spelled MEAT''S.
Meats.
The proprietor is known as
Meat.
Meat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Eric Muller is his real name, but he goes by Meat, and I'm going to call him Meat.
And he loves the opera, huh?
Yes.
Loves it.
If you don't, if you can't love opera with a name like that.
So, so if you're in the area, come on out. It's $10 at the door, but if you get tickets in advance, it's 2 for $15.
It's a bargain. Twice the price. Please come to the show. I don't want to talk to
Full
8
bar?
people. Oh, yeah.
yes,
they have a full bar and restaurant. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's all right.
And I think we might be podcasting that day, so we'd have to go directly to the show because we're going to be there. So
Oh, don't tell me you're coming and then don't come.
we're coming.
I hate.
I won't be there.
Thanks.
We will be there.
Appreciate
So, but if we got to come directly to the show, maybe you don't like comedy, but you like stealing a bunch of audio equipment out of the backseat of a car.
There you go. You know where to come.
Yeah.
St.
You got that.
Nazianz
It'll
Meats
be right
Opera
there.
House. Free podcasting
I like to
equipment.
think I'm the Giselle Bundchen of the show. I don't get out of bed for less than $1 million.
Nope.
Wow.
Look at you, fancy pants.
Wow.
So, no, we are coming.
So you won one of the big lotteries that you can get this bozo to get out of bed
Yeah.
once every 2 to 3 weeks. I got to spare $3 million a month. Look down.
I'll make an appearance.
There you go.
All right. Well, today we're with Off the Hobbit Trail with Nate Ford and Brendan O'Day. Kevin Hart gets denied at the Super Bowl again. A man kills a cougar with his bare hands, and it's not a woman in her 40s. Delta Airlines is helping passengers ask you up. And Liam Neeson hunted black men 4 or 5 times.
He's got jungle fever.
What?
So, what have we moved on to there? That was
Tom likes to tease the articles we're going to talk about.
okay.
You want to talk about Liam Neeson? He's all banned now.
Yeah.
lot
What
of
are you
people
going
like
to do?
Did he tweet it or something like that, or did he say something?
No, he
like
was in an interview.
Yeah, he was in an interview, and
So there I was.
A friend of his was assaulted, so he, in his young 20, barely less than 25-year-old state, went out looking to beat up any black guy.
yep, a primal urge.
Now, this is in Belfast, so there's like 2 black guys in the entire country.
Yeah.
He was going to be hunting for a very long time with very low probability of success.
To be fair, if one person who happened to hurt his friend was black and there were only 2 black people in the country, he's got a 50-50 chance of finding him.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why he would admit it in this climate.
It's better to admit it than to have it
And
be
have it
found
discovered.
out.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, if he hunted with 0 success, who would know? You just see a guy walking down the street. You don't know he's hunting black people.
Well, that
Liam,
tells you
what'd
it tells you he's probably told the story to a few people. And then that's going to get out.
Yeah.
So you're saying he didn't have a particular set of skills?
Yeah.
Ron Pertwee.
No, he's just racist.
has-
Hard to do at night. This is what, just bad vision.
What did Ron Pertwee say?
It says, it looks like it's in quotes, I've got a special set of racist skills.
Wow.
Probably talking about,
Liam.
Yeah.
So he admitted that if he would have found one of those black men, he said he would have killed them.
wow.
Yeah.
And
And,
this
and I don't think he realizes how actually difficult it is to kill another human being.
Yeah.
Just like, it's a 50-50 proposition. He could kill you too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And so I think he suffers more from delusions of confidence than he does from racist tendencies.
There's nothing more dangerous than someone who's backed up against up against a wall or in a corner. They will do desperate things.
Sure. And when did he really start becoming an action star?
50s.
Yeah.
50s, right? He was a doughy, fat, non-approved rugby player from... No way he's taking some guy out. He's just a big doofus at that time.
Yeah.
But put through his 62-year-old persona of Mr. Hey, I can do anything I can make guns go...
He fared pretty well against Darth Maul.
He did great,
Oh,
didn't
wait.
he?
No.
Didn't he? Just do great. It was an impressive... He lost that one, though, right?
Yeah.
That's how he died.
Star Wars morons.
And Darth Maul was only half black.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, now...
That actually wins best reference of the day so far. That was really... that got way less than it deserved. That was really funny.
But I'm bummed.
All right. Yeah, he probably shouldn't have said it. I mean, if it didn't come out, I guess 2000.
I think that's got to be what it was. Somebody knows it, and he wanted to get ahead of it. And I think in today's climate, you have to get ahead of those things.
Well, now everything is like banned. They're stopping.
Everyone's purging their Twitter accounts.
Yeah,
Sure.
I saw
Even
that.
if they just accidentally said something.
Yeah, but the
That's
Wayback
risky.
Machine is what's going to do everybody in. So,
Yeah.
all that stuff's been screen grabbed. If you're an approved Twitter account, there's some moron in Phoenix just
Everything you
clicking
do.
everything you do.
I'm not afraid of my past.
That's how Kevin Hart got dinged for those 9-year-old tweets. Was that as soon as Kevin Hart's account got approved, it's immediately there's some dickhead out there who's going to hold somebody accountable for something they said in jest 9 years earlier.
Well, I agree with Kevin Hart, who basically said, I already apologized for this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When is
Total
it done?
railroad
When
job.
are we done here?
Yeah. And when you have Ellen, coming to bat for you and
Yeah.
basically say, I mean, come on. It's just, really, this is your way to become famous? I'm the guy that ratted out Kevin Hart.
Not so fast, Mr. Hart.
Yeah.
I'm powerful.
How many times does he have to apologize?
Right.
Like, that's it. Send
Every
Liam
time
Neeson,
someone new finds
kill
out.
him.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love the apology tours. It's becoming a thing. If you could just monetize that, I'll fucking get rich. It would be
Yeah,
great.
just keep saying you're sorry
that's
all
right.
day, every day.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart wasn't even the first choice for host on the Oscars. They asked The Rock, but he had scheduling conflicts.
And he's too smart to host the Oscars.
Well,
I'm Tom Klein. I'm
I'm
running
gonna host the
for
Oscars.
hosting for
Did you
Oscars.
let Brendan know I'm still
You're still in the running.
in the running? I didn't hear a no yet.
you haven't heard of no?
I heard
Nice.
no host as of last I heard.
Well, I think that's the most appropriate use of AI is just to have
Hello, welcome
The-
to
Watson
the
there.
Oscars.
nominated in the category of.
Yeah, have
Our
Watson
next
host it.
presenter
That would
won
be
an
great.
award last year.
Well, you know what? As long as we're speaking of Kevin Hart, he got shut down at the Super Bowl again. This was a funny story. By the way, go Pats. Go Pats. Go Pats.
Yeah, we were unable to have a Super Bowl special and make the really bad predictions as to who was going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last year with the Eagles, he made a big joke of it because he was supposed to hand the Super Bowl trophy off, and he was so drunk that the
Is he from Philadelphia? Or?
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
big Philly fan.
Okay.
He was so drunk that they kind of didn't let him near the players and everything. They're like, yeah, you just hold the phone. And he was all drunk and getting pissed off. Like, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here.
We're doing you a favor, Mr. Hart.
yeah, it's easy.
We were
this
doing
is
you
gonna
a
be on
favor.
national
Now we're going to
television.
let you just
Yeah,
run
you
with
can
it.
hand Tom Brady this. Sure.
So then he points it out and shows everybody how he's getting dissed.
Have we ever had a celebrity Lombardi trophy handoff
No.
previously in history?
No.
So why the hell is Kevin Hart being
So
proffered up in that fashion?
this year,
Yeah.
the Patriots won, and Kevin Hart was supposed to do it again, but the Patriots said, when Philly beat us last year, you were going to hand the other team the Super Bowl trophy. we're not letting you hand us the trophy.
Yeah, right.
You can't just jump on whoever wins. You're a Philly fan. You were rooting against
So
us.
like
Now
the rest of America, I wasn't really paying attention. Who did hand off the trophy?
Just Roger Goodell, right?
No, there were like four
Celine
people.
Dion.
Yeah,
they had like
did a
Terry
handoff.
Bradshaw.
They're doing
and
like a
Michael Mann.
ceremonial handoff thing. That's a new
torch
thing.
Handoff.
Four
Jesus
different people.
balls.
Oh, Joe Namath was one of them, and they let like the players kiss it and stuff. So
The best thing about the Super Bowl this year, Dave Portnoy from the Barstool Sports was kicked out because he has a feud with
the
Goodell.
NFL, right?
Yeah. Huge feud. And so they kicked him out. And
He's making this sound like he's some connected sports authority. Dave Portnoy from So Much Sports. What the hell? This is just a thing you read on Yahoo. This is not just
As he puts
be
his phone
known.
away.
Nate Ford knows virtually nothing about sports
guys like
at
sports?
all.
I do know Dave Portnoy because of the pizza review. One bite, that's all. That guy.
Okay, he found him through a Fat Guy Food portal.
Yes.
There we go. Okay, now it makes full sense. Okay, great.
Fat guy, food guy got kicked out of the Super Bowl.
This makes sense now. Okay.
But I follow up on the Barstool Sports show and stuff like that. And so, yeah.
Wow.
it's just
Jesus
calling
Christ.
you out.
That's hilarious. So, but what are the odds that Dave Portnoy purposely did something to get kicked out so that people would be talking about Dave Portnoy getting kicked out of the Super Bowl? I say there's a better than 90% chance that that's actually what went down.
Yeah.
That he did this intentionally so that this is what you'd be talking about. He's an absolute media whore. The guy and he's attained some level of notoriety such that when, because now you have to promote your movie in all these non-traditional ways. So like the cast of some stupid Mark Wahlberg or some movie, it wasn't Mark Wahlberg, but it was like John Hamm and a bunch of those other guys, the buddy movies, some stupid Adam Sandler kind of a venture.
I think
they
Tag.
Was it
Tag?
Tag, that's what it was. Yeah, stupid fucking movies. Anything with Ed Helms is stupid. And so these guys, in order to push their movie in a different, non-traditional way, they're on the sidewalk in New York doing this one-bite pizza review. All right, fine. And that's what gets so.
Doesn't
I guarantee
cost any money.
Right. Well, exactly right. Yes. No. 100%. And there are millions of PR people out there figuring out these ways to push you into different places.
It would be a really cheap idea. Would be to come on a Grafton-based Milwaukee podcast.
I think the travel cost alone would make that prohibitive. Where the
saying.
hell's Grafton, Wisconsin?
You could do the pizza review
I
at
know some Uber drivers.
Tommaso's.
I think that's a $500 Uber ride from Chicago.
Tommaso's or whatever.
We have Skype.
We have Skype
Thank you
with
very much.
celebrities
Perfect.
before.
That's the
Yeah, we
perfect
have.
chime in. That's awesome. You guys don't even have to show. This would be great.
All right. Well, it wasn't a 160-pound Great Dane, but a Colorado runner kills a cougar in self-defense.
It's an 80-pound baby.
I killed a cougar last night at the bar. High five.
Killed her again in the morning.
Way to go, Mark. All right. So, I guess this guy was jogging in the Colorado park system, and you're not impressed, a 80-pound baby.
All right, 80
It
pound
was a
cougar is charging
juvenile.
you right now. What do you do?
That cat was probably looking for milk or
He's 80
or a quick cuddle. And this cat is just like, you look like my mom. And this son of a bitch suddenly chokes him out. The cat's like, oh, he's just looking for love.
I was looking for love. Now I'm in a
Yeah.
rear naked choke.
That's right.
Just wanted yard balls.
Yeah. No, I guess he got bit in the back of the head that was stalking him and whatever.
Yeah.
Fine. Good for him.
And,
Way to go, buddy. You've proven that not all runners are as wimpy as Jim Fix. Way to go. It's just-
This is
That's a
not
reference.
impressing you at all.
whatever.
All these
It's-
runners that get killed by cougars.
All
Finally,
these
we
are
got
22 deaths by cougar, by mountain lion in the last 100 years.
But it's 22-1 now.
That
We
is
got
true.
our
That is
one
true.
in there. Humans
That is true.
won. We don't
Yeah.
have a lot of ways
There's
to
no-
fight back.
but
We
there's
don't
not
have
a lot.
message.
It's not a shutout anymore.
Yeah, right, there we go. Yeah.
We broke the shutout.
On tour, he deals with a very drunk Nate Ford. That's almost like handling a cougar.
Almost like handling an 80-pound cougar. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
I mean, we don't have claws, we don't have fangs, we don't have venom, we don't have web.
But you'll notice he's not dead. I figured out the way to tame the
Yeah.
idiot
The
cougar.
wild beast.
So are there any tips for fighting off cougars?
It said use everything you got, like kick, scream, grab, pull, just
Slap 'em
gouge,
on the
do
nose.
anything you can.
It's not to play
Pull
dead
on
with
the
the
tail.
cougars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they're looking to feed. They want you to be dead. They're
yeah,
not-
yeah.
You catch a tiger by its toe, so it's the same thing.
Go for the toe. Go
I
for
mean,
the toe.
anything, it's always the
Hey,
eyes.
Liam Neeson, how's that? Pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty
Almost
close.
There, almost there.
You guys didn't grow up in rural Idaho?
I know the original phrase, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Nope. So, yeah.
Oh, that's adorable right there.
on
Look
the-
at that.
Oh, yeah. That's going to start
Those
making
cute
noise.
cats. Cute little cats that we all love.
You cat man? You have a pet cat?
No.
Nope, it's got no
Come
pets.
on.
I have a
Come
pet cat.
on.
Well, that's
No.
right.
He's got
You know when
vape.
you
I have
no
no
pets.
pets. It's mostly just because of allergies. I'm literally I'm allergic to a lot of
Yeah,
things.
while I got the cougar in a rear naked choke, my throat would swell and I'd die.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got to kill them really fast.
Yeah, and get a Benadryl in you.
And ask them, ask the cat, do you mind if I put on my mask before we have this little dalliance
I
on the
gotta
trail
hit
here?
myself with some Flonase.
Yeah, that's right.
I just took Benadryl, so this got to be quick or I'm
Yeah.
falling asleep.
Do an impromptu
there you go,
tracheotomy
yeah.
real quick.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the Benadryl days. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Does
Those
it do
were
the same to
halcyon
you?
days.
I
Oh,
sleep
yeah.
14 hours.
I had a doctor prescribing me 36 Benadryl a day.
What the hell?
Yeah.
How does he expect you to masturbate?
I right? I missed 42 days of my senior year of high school
A
just
lethal case of
sleeping,
blue balls.
just
Wow.
completely passing through time, just unaware that time had just.
How do you get them down? You'd have to be woken up.
Four at a time? Yep. Just a handful at a time. Just boop.
So,
Yep.
wow.
And that's just keeping him alive.
Yeah.
That's just maintenance.
Well, it's that thing of like
taking the edge
you've
off.
prescribed a coma to keep me alive until some better drug gets invented 10
That's
years
how we get
later.
him through school.
Yeah, so now it's 5 24-hour Allegra a day to keep me going. So
But his parents
Yeah.
were never happier.
yeah,
He's so quiet.
oh, he's just the best child we've ever had.
We finally have food in the fridge.
Never hear from him. Yes, exactly right. Well, it's one of 9, so it was only like you're only talking about 11-12% difference in consumption in the household.
Okay.
If one of them's comatose and whatever.
All right. Well, we got the latest in the suspect. Check this. This is the guy who you heard about, the nursing home facility guy.
Yes.
Is that not the worst case of Forrest Whitaker eye you've ever seen?
There you go.
Like,
Where's Liam Neeson when you need him?
okay, this was the guy who, the lady who
Quickly,
was-
there's no time.
the lady who had a baby. She was in a coma
For 10 years.
for 10 years. Then she just had a baby. This is the man.
Yeah, didn't they do DNA and it
Yeah.
confirmed it's him? And he's like, I want another test.
See, if you just put that line in slightly different vernacular, slightly different, accented syllables. You just said comatose lady just had a baby. It's comatose lady just had a baby. It could be a real positive thing.
Yeah,
It's
good
just-
for her.
I think
Anything is
she's
possible.
still in the coma, isn't she?
It's a miracle.
She hasn't come out of the coma.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I think,
Yeah.
though, everybody, like, with that story is like, how could somebody do this? How could you do that? And then you kind of look at his picture and go, oh, I could see how he could do that.
Well, I just assumed it wasn't medically possible, as he probably assumed.
Well,
The
so
body
they
shut down.
they took DNA from every male that worked there for
Yep.
the last X number, whatever,
Yeah.
27 months.
That's when you play
Does the baby have a lazy eye like
But
that?
before they came up with the results, 3 other people, including 2 doctors, resigned.
Oh, hello.
So does that mean that there was like a
Several.
racket going on, and it could have been any one of them?
So
That
they
is
were
so
running a
sad.
train?
And now they've closed the clinic altogether.
The doctors
would
could have
hope
been
so.
aware of
Hospice.
it.
$5
and as
to
soon
poke
as
her with
the
a
father
stick,
was
$100
found,
to fuck it.
he would probably out everybody.
That would be
So
the
bad.
most generous reading of that.
That is terrible.
That is a very
If
well. That doctor would never have sex with a patient. That's against his Hippocratic
if we
oath.
were all doing something that despicable, and then it turned out it was my baby, I'd be like, well, they were doing it too.
Well, I think the guy's
yeah.
going to have a hard time explaining how his Lake Homes payment was made twice. 9 months ago.
It's just a Quentin Tarantino movie. My name is Buck, and I like to.
Yeah. Doctor, can you explain this $2,700 deposit to your checking account and written from the account of lazy-eyed McJones here?
It's a consultation fee.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think those guys got out of their, nick of time going, it's not my DNA. So,
Well, it could just be, too, that they knew that there was going to be a lot of heat coming down on this place in general for
Didn't want the
allowing this to
again,
happen.
super generous of you guys.
Yeah.
So nice.
Proven guilty.
I'm just saying.
This is
Wow.
America.
This is a Law and
When
Order
your
podcast.
baby
This
comes
is
out
amazing.
of a vegetable, lady, you're still innocent? Like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
No, I mean the doctors, not this guy.
Oh, yeah.
The doctors who resigned
Right.
were
Before the-
were
They-
assuming
yeah.
the worst or the best.
They wanted to find a job before it got too big of a story, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, there's many, like I say, very
We're
very
nice people
plausible
over here.
and generous, but there's no comedy in
Yeah.
being nice with that. Come on. That's
Yeah.
This is true.
you have to just let inference be the joke. It's why did these guys resign before the testing was
Make the
done?
audience think.
Man.
Don't say it.
You got to let those imaginations run wild.
I can't think of the actor's name, but he looks like that actor.
Forrest Whitaker.
If
If he got poked in his lazy eye.
It looks like Don
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well, let's
like I know movies.
pep this up.
even
Delta
want
is
that out
apologizing for their creepy napkins, their creepy Coca-Cola napkins.
They put that guy on the
Oh
napkin.
yeah.
Have
I
you heard about
these.
that?
No, this one I have not heard about.
Okay.
Get a little Coke in you?
No, they're basically saying things like,
They're like party napkins.
no, yeah, but they're like, you never know who you'll meet on an airplane. So these napkins had like your name and phone number, and you could pass them to another passenger.
Like they pre-printed your name and phone number?
No, they didn't pre-print
There's like
it.
room to write your name and phone number?
Yeah, check it out right there. Name, phone number. It says,
I went to a singles night at Miller Park once with some friends, and they try to do stuff like this to get people to mingle. But I'm on an airplane. I don't
Right.
want to mingle.
see,
I'll
that's
get
what
to my
passengers
destination.
were saying.
Yeah, and even at Miller Park. I mean,
There was a.
I'm not-
It was the dudek, and everyone there was singles. It was an intentional singles thing. And there was this game where
all right, and everybody knew it was
everybody
all
given
singles.
baseball cards, and you were supposed to, if you collected the whole team, you got like a free burger or something.
No,
So
this
it's
is
an
a
excuse to
lady
talk
sitting
to
there
people
with
and trade
everybody
cards.
throwing their
Sure.
napkins at her.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, babe.
Just keep draping them over.
The Coca-Cola napkin says, because you're on a plane full of interesting people, and hey, ... you
Presumptuous.
never know. Here's
Wink,
name.
wink.
We're a mile high.
Nudge,
yeah,
nudge.
yeah. I mean, this is an
She
awfully
can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Molly, you get one of them. That's one of them rare
That was pretty good.
moons,
That was,
planets
oh,
align
that
where
was
Molly
lovely.
gets one.
That was lovely. That's rather presumptuous of the whole romanticization of air travel, which left air travel today is a Greyhound bus.
I was going to say
I mean,
romanticization of other human beings. I
Yeah.
don't want to talk to people in general.
right? Exactly. No,
It's a lot easier picking up a date on the Greyhound than it is on.
It is on Delta. Yeah. You walk down the aisle. Are you a Sky Club member? Are you a Sky Club member? Are you a Sky Club member? I only
Well,
date Sky Club members.
The one lady complained because she was on like a 12-hour flight and got a napkin, and now this dude is just staring at her.
This is what I'm saying. Is that air travel today is not lovely. It's awful.
No.
Who the fuck you for wanting to try and make this some? Hey, let's all get to the club.
Yeah, go to the
Screw
bathroom in a
you,
little bit.
man.
Yeah.
Just oh god, yeah, right.
What about
Your
all the
double
ugly
locks
people?
on these doors?
It's like in grade school when we had to give out the Valentines. You had to give one to everyone because
Yeah.
you don't want the ugly kids not getting any Valentines.
Right on.
What about the ugly person?
That's
on
the best
plane?
part about being old. I predate that whole phenomenon, and just
You're still bitter about it.
Oh no, I love the cringe of watching it, of watching that person just dump out their little paper bag of 2 or 3 Valentines
From the teacher.
and just yeah, principal, secretary. Oof, you hit the trifecta of people who don't care, and and so that's how you feel. Like you don't know at 8 years old when you're in Mrs. Wendland's 4th grade class that this is where you're going to go, that you're going to be this person who sees things darkly and takes glee in other people's failures and whatnot. But you don't know that there's a job out there for you. to do. And then when you discover this is so great. I just get to be a jackass all the time and be a dick to people. It's the best. I didn't know that they made things like this for people like me, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful
Professional catharsis?
catharsis. Wow. I'll help you through your dark times by being darker.
Awesome. You want to do a speed rail or you want to do the interview? Just speed rail.
What's a speed rail?
You know.
You guys want to do drugs on the show, or what are we doing, man?
That's how you lost all the weight, Tom.
So, speed rail time. These are stories that have good headlines, but not a good story. So, people think Chris Pratt will be the next Indiana Jones. He doesn't confirm or deny this.
I have heard that.
Okay.
What do you guys like Indiana Jones? Would you see another one if they recast?
No.
The last one was
No, you
so
don't
bad.
like him, or no, you wouldn't see it if they recast him?
I wouldn't. Yeah, recasting, no.
Yeah, I was going to say he watches any piece of crap that comes out.
So you want an 80-year-old Indiana Jones?
It's Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, and that's it.
What if we got Anthony Ingruber? He looks like a young Indiana Jones.
Anthony Gruber, you said?
Anthony Ingruber.
Ingruber?
He played, a couple of years ago, Harrison Ford made a movie, Age of Adeline, and this guy played him in flashbacks, and it looks just like him.
Huh.
And he was totally my pick to play young Han Solo.
Doesn't Harrison Ford have a son that looks like him?
I have no idea.
I think Chris Pratt is too pretty boy looking to
Well,
play
too
the
pretty.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones is a little bit more kind of scruffy and.
Do you like him scruffy?
But
Is that
wait
what
a
you're
minute.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying for that character, for that role.
But obviously
He's a
they're going to have Chris Pratt playing a younger or a new Indiana Jones. Wouldn't you have said the same thing about Han Solo being tagged to play this rough
This speed rail is not really
working.
We got opinions, man. We got a bunch of opinions and we want to get out. Don't you hold back my opinions.
Because I love the Indiana Jones movies, and
I guess slow
I
is a
liked-
speed.
I liked the way they tried to set up Shia LaBeouf in the last movie, but the last movie sucked so
Yeah,
bad.
So hard. I'm with you. I say stop making remakes, you lazy ass writer pieces of crap. Fuck you, Hollywood, for continually doing remakes and trying to bank on things that have a general baseline of acceptance. Screw you. Write a damn movie!
Oh, we've got a
I love the
couple
Coen
comments
brothers.
The
here.
original movie.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
We've got Ron Pertwee. I think they're trying to make Indy into 007.
Hey, Ron Pertwee, how you doing, buddy?
And we got Wayne Gunther saying, "What are thoughts on Robert Pattinson playing Batman in the
Wayne
next Batman
DeGunther.
movie?"
Gunther!
Robert Pattinson?
Patterson, right? Or
Mr.
Pattinson.
Twilight.
This is Twilight Boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Edward.
No
Team
way.
Edward.
the guy who helped
Right.
He
destroy
can't
vampires.
play Batman.
Team Jacob.
Ron says he's okay with it. No, Robert Pattinson cannot
How many
play
times
Batman.
you rub one out to that, right?
He is way too much of a pretty boy, and he's not even that
Batman
pretty.
is Bruce Wayne is a playboy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
but,
supposed to look sexy and fun,
but
and
can Pattinson even
Like
act?
Michael Keaton.
like Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Can Pattinson even act, though?
that
Did you
hair.
enjoy him in the
That
Twilight
adorable
movies?
old man.
Just want to rub your fingers
No.
through it.
Lovely fro. Yeah, this is not speedy, is it?
No,
Yeah.
So sorry.
that's fine.
You hit a
A nerve.
button.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Lindsey Vonn crashed in her final race. It's not her final race because she died.
Is that
She
is that a
fine.
stab at Tiger? Is that-
No, so she just crashed in her final race. She biffed, but she's fine. Canadian man's vanity plate is rejected because his last name is offensive.
Ooh, what's his last name?
Dave Assman.
1 S or 2?
2S, but it's pronounced Osman.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's Dumas.
Yeah.
Well, what about friend of the show,
Plates.
Rocky Scheidt?
I played volleyball, and I had two people on my team, and when I handed in our roster, I felt like they were going to think we were making up these names. I played with Jamie Bushlick and Kim Kunstick.
Were they close friends?
No. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, these are real names, guys. Hey, Kim, if you're out there. It's Kunstick.
Cunstack.
Still, stack of cunts. Yes.
It's just as terrifying. As a cut stick that's good.
Very
We
intimidating, isn't
come
it?
from a proud line of Kunsticks.
Yeah.
That's a good little game now, like a board game or a card game. Cunstacks. You know,
It's like Jenga, but with a lot of knot holes in it.
Yeah. Maria Butina's boyfriend, Paul Erickson, is indicted on 11 felonies.
This is the Russian spy chick.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Wire fraud and money laundering, 20 years for each account.
Unrelated to her spy stuff?
Yeah.
Wait,
Well,
she has a boyfriend?
That's how she was getting all this.
Yeah.
But there goes my theory of her being the sexy sex agent who gets information for sex if she has a boyfriend.
No, she picked some
She can
old
still
guy.
do it with a boyfriend. Come on.
It's not as...
But
if
wasn't
you're-
the
spy.
boyfriend
If you're her
in the
targets-
government?
Yeah.
So she was, I mean,
This
picked-
boyfriend is the
Oh,
one
okay.
that she picked.
So it's not like
to-
she took her boyfriend to the NRA meetings where she was trying to siphon information
Yeah.
out of men.
yeah.
Yeah. Siphon. Oh, you want one, Mark? I saw that. Okay. Bud Light backtracks on its corn syrup ad. Farmers, the Super Bowl ad.
Okay.
You saw that?
Fuck
Yeah.
corn syrup.
Yeah, farmers were not happy, neither were competitors. Corn syrup is consumed by yeast and never enters the beer. It's a way to save consumers money.
It's a cheap sugar substitute.
Plus, it isn't high fructose corn syrup, which everybody has their panties in a bundle, so obviously Bud Light was trying to deceive.
They were pushing that hard.
They sent
like
a
every
tweet
commercial. Too.
retracing it. So, 100 million people saw the commercial, so they must have got the tweet.
I'm a fan of
No
real
damage.
sugar.
Yeah.
And it would be cheaper if we lifted that 50-year-old embargo off of it.
Yeah.
But we got biodiesel shit. We are taking our corn syrup and putting it into cars to drive around, and we still have an embargo on cheap Brazilian sugar. I'm fine putting the corn in the car, but let me have cheap sugar then. Stop making me buy high fructose corn syrup.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Shh. Drink your Pepsi.
It's brandy old fashioned.
Drink your Mexican Coke.
All right, that's all I got. So let's get on with this awesome interview with the Hobbit Trail, a misguided comedy tour.
Oh, boy.
So tell us a little bit, the name, the Hobbit Trail, misguided comedy tour. Did you ever think that with the Tolkien lore, Hobbit books and movies and all that stuff, you might be hard to find on the internet?
Yeah, that was a thing by design.
But that's what my next question was. Or were you hoping to get mixed into the shuffle of everybody looking?
From the very early, from the outset, the stated goal of the Hobbit Trail is we have not achieved any form of success until we receive our first cease and desist letter from the Tolkien estate. Once we hit that, we know it's time to change the name, and we'll make just like Tom
You'll be the
Portnoy
Half-Life
getting
Trail.
kicked out of the Super Bowl. That'll be those bastards at those rich sons of bitches want us to get rid of our name. And then you get to get on Ellen or something. It's becoming
Okay.
yeah. But the name itself comes from this goes back quite a few years now, at least 10 years, maybe 12 years. I don't know if you guys remember this. I don't know how you guys are pretty young. There used to be these things called cell phone plans that had limits.
Yeah.
Everything's unlimited today.
Get 25 texts a month.
250 texts a month. It was the plan that I had. And every
I ruined
time
it. That's like 5 a day.
every time this little cherub here
You up?
would send me a text message.
You up?
Well, no, he would send a text message, you up, and then space, 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 space. Each one of those things is 7 letters, 7 characters to make a space, a return line. And then he'd sign it as The Hobbit. Pushing it over into 2 texts. So I effectively had a 125 text plan because a moron boy here and I just, stop signing your goddamn text, you son of a bitch, you're causing. And he just, whatever. So he's called himself, and this is one of those stupid things, is the guy who gave himself a nickname, The Hobbit. And so when he was setting up in, were you in Kaukauna at the time, or Kiwani? Kiwani.
Yeah.
With another friend of ours, Chad Bonin. Chad Bonin, how you doing, buddy? Former Midwest wrestling
Pro wrestler.
And manager type. But he and Chad were sitting there, and I was down here in Milwaukee, and we were trying to come up with a name. We've already decided that we're going to do this. We've done a couple of test runs together. We're compatible. We can not kill each other in the van for a while. And so we're trying to come up with a name for the tour, and it's right about the time that the Peter Jackson Hobbit Trail things are real hot. And since we're going to be traveling all over, and that's what the logo behind the name is, a map of a route of like our first route together, a 30 shows and 30 nights route. And I'm like, it's like those old Hobbit Trail, the gerbil trails or the hamster trail things. So it's Hobbit Trail, because he's the Hobbit, and Peter Jackson's popular with the movie right now. So instead of very whatever it was journey. It becomes a misguided comedy tour. So I
And we're very misguided when it comes to
Yeah.
booking
Yeah.
a run.
played on all those themes. And so I just sent that up to those guys, and they're like, yep. And I'm fairly certain it's because they were more interested in drinking than assessing and analyzing or debating a tour name. And his appellation of The Hobbit was in there, so he was happy. And
Yeah.
Chad just was tired of it, so I was like, "Yeah, that's the name. Let's do it." So, so I don't think any more thought than that was put into it. It sounds more complicated
So when
than
you
it
get that
was.
cease and desist, are you going to become the Disney Princess on Ice comedy show?
Already got a
Already got the.
whatever a Pixar venture.
The hairy jokester of the
Yeah.
cauldron of funny. Play off a.
Don't you have a car crash? Do you have a car crash?
I got some of that.
Oh, there you go. That's good enough. Yeah. I prefer the car
I was
crash.
trying to do like a Marvel thing. I'm like,
Yeah. I could feel it in where you were headed there, but
make it work.
and I thought that's where you'd go, is because you're the huge comic book movie guy. It'd be like a Marvel verse or something like that.
Do the Black Panther comedy tour?
Hosted by Liam Neeson.
Oh no.
Jeez.
Tons of callbacks today, everybody. Tons of callbacks.
So how did you guys meet up then?
We met at a beach.
Wait a minute.
Way down in
Yeah.
Acapulco?
No, we
Kokomo.
when I first moved to Wisconsin, I came up to Milwaukee to do an open mic and at a place called Bremen Cafe, and there's still a Monday open mic there, and he was there, and you can tell, like, when a comic goes up there, that you can tell they know what they're doing. They have jokes, there's structure, there's something there, and that's what he had.
This guy did not have it. No.
This guy. What's the deal? No, but he like oh my god, this guy actually knows what he's doing, because there were several that went up before him. They're like, why? Why are you on stage? And then he gets up there like, oh shit, okay, there's some talent here in Milwaukee.
Open mic is really, we have a horrible healthcare system in this country. It is geared towards very wealthy people who are in the system, whatnot. And some people do okay with it, but we leave a lot of people behind. And those people are left behind to deal with their psychiatric problems at comedy open mics. That's where you go to say out loud the thing that's rambling around your head. So comedy open mics are the most wonderful train wrecks of a few comics who are actually working on material or actually working on elements of their material, and then people who are just they're on a dare, or they're there on I have nowhere else to say these things out loud and no one will judge me for them.
Free therapy.
Yeah, exactly. So so you suffer through 80% of that to then get to, whoa, that guy understands the concept of premise, setup, punchline. He actually has a joke. It's not this wink and a nod of like a trick cereal, right? And that's a punchline. And it's so, I call it referential comedy, and I absolutely hate it, but it's becoming dominant. And so we're sitting there, and like after this open mic that we first were both at the same time, it's like, hey man, we got some real jokes. Nice to meet you, kind of a thing. And that was literally like 12 years ago now, or 10, at least 10 years ago, probably 12. And then you just stay in touch. And then he went off to Nina and became the house MC at a comedy club up there that's no longer in business, like most comedy
Unrelated.
clubs. Well, so you go apart, but you stay in touch and you cross paths occasionally in this world of comedy, and you're like, oh, you're still doing this, you're still in this game, and you're still committed. And that's the other thing, is that I left a pretty decent job that paid pretty decent money to pursue this full time. And when you encounter someone who's equally as committed, it's pretty rare in this little universe. So
Awesome.
So that's how it all
And
starts.
now you guys are independent. You have no agents. You book your own stuff.
That's correct.
We
Yeah.
are the booking agent. We are the comedy show. We're the promoters. We're the creators. We're the everything.
We're the back office. We're the legal. We're everything. But you should, if you have an interest in getting into the field of entertainment and you don't feel you have any actual performance talent, please contact us through thehobbittrail.com. We are looking to hire a full-time booking agent, so please.
Molly's
good at
pointing
that
at
stuff.
me. I'm good at booking them.
If you'd like to make $30,000 to $50,000 a year booking comedy shows, that
Nate
would be
told
great.
me 100.
I say 30 to 50 now because I'll tell you why. You can make 100 easy.
Yeah.
I've got a full layout exactly how to make
it a commission
$100,000. Yeah, absolutely. It's not like we've got piles of money laying around.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it's up to you to make that 100,000.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the funny thing is, whatever you do in your life, you're on commission. You just don't understand it. You're being paid way less than you're worth if you're not on commission, because they have to keep enough in reserve to pay you when you're not producing, and then they fire you if you don't produce enough, even to meet that halfway baseline. But I don't say 100,000 anymore because it scares people away.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, I don't know if I'm worthy of making 100,000. Like, I've never conceived of being able to make 100,000. So I figured out that I've been scaring people away who might have, been able to come along for the ride.
When my father first started doing his siding business, he was wondering why he wasn't getting hired, and people were paying Sears at the time. Like, that was 4 times more. All he did was he started doubling his prices.
Yep. You
And
can't be too far off the baseline numbers, right?
he was just charging what he needed to make in labor because he was his own company. He didn't have the overhead of the big companies. And once he doubled his prices, he couldn't.
Yeah. I lived in that remodeling world for quite a while, and anytime we got too busy, where we were having to push people too far down the road to do their job, we can't get to you for 3 months or 6 months or whatever, we'd raise our prices to get rid of the people who were saying yes because it was too easy to say
Supply
yes.
and demand.
Exactly.
Demand was too
So
high.
we just boom, 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 and our schedule's back down to 8 weeks and 6 weeks, and it's great.
So would you consider yourself like a comedy team?
No,
Not
not at
necessarily
all.
a duo, but because you do stuff on your own.
There's a bit of that, and there's more of that because we have so much free time lately.
Both have completely different styles of comedy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a pretty good. And they mesh together well. You're
they
not
do.
coming to a show where it's like you don't want someone to feel like they've watched the same person do the same type of material. So yeah, there's a stylistic difference between us, but we don't share the stage. We tried on a couple of shows early on
I
to like
shared the
close
stage
out the
with Nate before too. You don't get the mic.
well, there is that. We tried to just close out the show together, and it was such a miserable
Train wreck.
Yeah, just there's no point. And part of it is we do a really good 2-hour long show. That's a long time to sit. That's movie length, and that's all the time people can stand to sit. So if then after the funny's all done and they're engaged and they've had all that release of endorphins and they're happy and everything, and then you go, so does anybody have any questions for us? It's almost like, hey, you just made you look at me for 2 hours. Do you want to look at me some more? Like, please? I need more of this?
So we found out the best way
gratuitous
to end the show is to hang out with them after the show.
Ugh.
And we keep them at the bar.
Let them buy you a drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them buy you a drink. Let the bar know they're buying you a drink so that the bar goes, wow, these guys stick around and they spend a lot of money here. We should have them back. And
that's a good.
if more and more bars weren't going out of business at a rate faster than we can get back to them, that's been our biggest challenge. But we used to have, in the first 3 years of the tour, we had a 92% rebooking rate because we would be the best night of their year. Scott Herbeck, I'm talking to you.
Yes, Scott. Q's Bar.
Eight sold out shows in a row. You son of a bitch. Answer our phone calls. You want to go back to Jamaica or not? You fucking. So we
Love you, Scott.
We would oftentimes be a place's best night of the year. There was a place up in Abrams, Wisconsin that said, we've never charged for a show ever.
Yeah.
We can only charge $5 a ticket. So they sold 96 tickets for our show. A room that holds 180. That's barely acceptable. Any room that's less than half full feels empty. There's a thing about getting past the halfway point, but whatever. So it was a December 6th show, and the day before it had been in the 40s. The night over into the show, it drops by 20 degrees. They get their first 8-inch snowstorm of the year. So the day of the show, everybody's been out plowing and shoveling all day long. It's gotten really cold. So 34 people don't show up. You got a room of 60-some people. And we said the reason for that, and we tried to tell this to the owner, and he actually came along for the ride, was because it was $5.
Yeah.
There was so little investment in the show. So when we talked about coming back and doing a second show, because we're all they've talked about in the bar for the last 3 months, when we pitched him another show, he's like, yeah, you guys got to get back here. You're all they've been talking about. we said, we'll come back under one condition, and that's that you charge at least $10 a ticket and $15 at the door. And they sold 192 tickets at 10 and then 2 more at 15. And the only reason they had to stop selling tickets was because the fire marshal was the next guy in line and said, you're over your capacity. I'm not going to let you sell any more tickets. And so we had 18 people standing along the back of the room, and it was packed, and it was a blowout show.
Yeah.
And their revenues were over $9,000 for the night between food and alcohol on 192 people. And it's like, how many times you want to do this a year? Would you like to add 40 grand a year to your bottom line? So at the end of the show, I'm up there. This is before we set up our contracts better to get paid before the show. So I'm getting paid after the show, and he's giving me a tip. He's going to pay a little more because he knows what he's killed on this night. And he's giving me a tip, and his wife goes, you've got to give him more than that. Are you kidding me? $100? Look what they did for us tonight. And he very grudgingly hands over $200, and it's just like, oh, thanks a lot, Kip, you cheapskate son of a bitch. But yeah, and it's that thing of us not being those comedians with our hands out at the end of the night, taking the money and walking out the door. It's us staying around. It's mostly Nate Ford socializing with everybody after the show. I use that opportunity to tear down the set. And then I get to not have to talk to people until they're an hour drunker.
Oh, that's a good marriage.
Yeah.
One guy doesn't have to do work. One guy doesn't want to do that type of work.
He loves the socializing. I'm not big on that. Sorry if I made you feel special.
Because you're not.
But I don't like you.
I like to make the joke when he's all done and getting the last part of equipment. I go, hey, do you need a hand with that?
He'll have a crowd of 10 people around him all drinking and buying him shots. Hey, let me give you a hand with that. Like, hey, son of a bitch.
Because he really hates that too.
Yeah, it's great. As you say, it's a fortuitous marriage. It's all good.
So you mostly do long tours, not so much in the area shows?
You can't play your local area. There's people that believe you can have the same comedians on the same show day after day after day. Matt Kemple. But no, I don't believe comedy is something you can do statically. I believe you have to take it out on the road. You have to go out. I don't like locally famous for comedy. I just, I understand compromise. I understand decision making that, if you've put yourself in that position, then you probably shouldn't be in this business, but comedy is best delivered like an expert, a briefcase and 50 miles away. You've got to go away to do comedy. So
okay, so what's it like being on the road with somebody doing that many nights in a row with the same guy that's over and over in a van, just traveling and
there's some tension every once in a while, but you're gonna get that. But we both have the same goal, the same idea of comedy that
this is it.
Far exceeds whatever our disgruntledness is.
Yeah, it could be terrible. I mean, there's a lot of potential for it to be awful, and this is literally what kills most any. there aren't a lot of people that do what we do, but there are comedians that have people that go on the road with them. A guy like Doug Stanhope has 3 or 4 people that go with him all the time. But he does change up his openers very regularly because, again, it is part of that. I'm sure to spend a week on the road with Andy Andrist and I'm sorry that I'm making references to people you've never heard of, it would be terrible because Andy's a difficult guy to get along with for 5-7 days in a row. One of the reasons in our contract is there's 2 hotel rooms is because we need 8 hours apart or we would kill each other. Yeah. But to find somebody... So in our little universe of comedy, it's amazing to me when we go somewhere, we'll stop in to see a comic at a casino in Reno and somebody goes, I know who you guys are. Somebody who is a big, because they see these stupid posters that are all over the country and they know it's self-booked. They know it's 30 shows in 30 nights or 41 shows in 40 nights or 51 shows in 45 nights, which so far is our biggest one. We have a plan to beat that. Awesome. But when you're getting that respect from these people that can't conceive of, how do you guys do that? That comes out of the mouth of some guy you saw on TV last night is just like, oh, fuck, this is cool. I mean, if you get that respect of your peers in that way, that to me is pretty great. And so to find someone who can do that with you, super rare. So this is very much really super lucky from 12 years ago to realize that we're at this point and that it stayed together. Because, I mean, just think of how many comedians you've met in that time.
A lot.
And who wouldn't ever think of being able to do this. It's just not a part of who they could ever be because of all the decisions they've made in their life previously. So it's just, it's commitment and it's decision making and then luck.
Keep in mind, we also, between the both of us, we have over 20 years of comedy experience to back this show up.
32.
I say that because there are comics who start at open mics the first year or two, think they can do the same thing. And they think they have a grasp on the idea. And they go out.
They go kill comedy.
Yeah, they go ruin comedy because they're not ready. They're not prepared. They don't bring the expertise that we bring.
Yeah. So in a given night of any of these runs, there's a really special little place of North Dakota where one night we would be in a Harley bar, literally Harley-Davidson motorcycles mounted to the wall. The next night, we're in the #1 political bar in the state where the governor and the speaker of the assembly both host a weekly radio show. And the next night, we're out in the oil field bars where you're talking to guys who haven't seen a woman in 6 months.
Ooh.
And you smell pretty good.
Man camps.
It's just, it's freaking scary. And you've got to have material that works for all of those different disparate people from different socioeconomic backgrounds and different expectations in life. And these kids leave an open mic and they think they're your peer. And it's like, oh, we're gonna get in Tracy's van and we're gonna make hot dogs in parks on the way out to a festival in Colorado, and we're gonna do shows just like you guys. It's like, and you're going to bore the crap out of these people and name the 6 towns you're going to stop in because I can't call them ever again because you've killed comedy there. You've ruined it for everybody because you're not prepared. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how to handle an audience. And that's what separates amateurs from professional comedians. It's all about whether you can read an audience or not. That's the defining difference. Everybody's got to be funny. Everybody's got to have jokes. All those baseline has to be there. But if you can't read an audience and know which way to go, you're screwed.
So how would you recommend one acquire that skill?
You work
Time.
a lot. You put time in. You get on every show you can. You do your spots, but you don't go out and say, hey, we're a national touring act that has... I was on local morning radio because my girlfriend's brother works at the station and whatever.
This was 6 years ago when this first started. We had comics in the area. Hey, take us on the road. Take us on the road. Oh, so wait. Great. We put all the work into it. Then we're just going to take you, and you offer nothing? You just want us to take you on the road.
The best version of that question is, when are you going to take me on the road with you? What the hell have you ever done to make me want to take you on the road? Not one of them ever came up and said, hey, I'm a really great video editor. I got a strong back. I can carry all the equipment. Never once did anyone ask or offer to help. It was, when are you going to understand the greatness of me? I've been doing this for 4 weeks now. You really should think about
his clipboard.
Yeah.
The caliber of openers that we've actually have had. We've had national touring feature acts, national touring headliners open for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We even had a TV star open for us from IFC's The Whitest Kids You Know. Timmy Williams was an opener for us and 3 times in Watertown, South Dakota.
He's from there. His show went off the air. He went back to the family and whatever. He's living his life. But he's a guy. It's that thing of, it's like, wait a minute. If there's one thing Nate Ford does is he lives his life out loud on social media. I mean, I'm sitting here tonight at the card game thing. Look at me. And that's great. I mean, you need that. You need someone who's cool with that. And I'm not, and he is, and that's great. It's a great combination. So everybody knows where we are at all times. Everybody knows specifically where he is at all times. And you can see us with Timmy Williams. You can see us with Adam Hunter. You can see us with Dylan Mandelson, he's a former Star Search grand champion from Toronto, Canada. There's a video of him begging us I want to learn from you guys. I want to know what you do.
Buy a ticket every night.
Yeah, right, yeah. Come on, follow us. You got a car.
You could be a roadie.
You Canuck.
Hey, are there any comedy groupies?
We
whatever.
have weird fans.
No. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just...
Yeah, we got weird fans. I think that's a better way to put it. I wouldn't call them comedy groupies. They're Hobbit Trail fans. but we haven't really.
More
Justin
of our fellowship.
is Justin the closest thing to somebody who likes just pretty much all comedy.
Justin Guavon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin's a guy who really likes comedy and particularly likes hanging out with Nate Ford because he drinks a lot and can keep up with. It's the two of them kind of battle each other out.
Yeah.
So it's a good marriage. It's a good relationship that they have. But he's a guy who really kind of came to us because, I mean, he knew us through a different thing. And really loved, but found out we were comedians and like he was immediately there. And he's just a super great guy. But he's a guy who really likes a lot of variation on comedy. So yeah, there aren't.
Our number one fan has never been to a show.
That's actually
Randy
true.
Lee.
Randy. Oh wow, poor Randy. He's a good guy.
Randy Lee.
He comes to every show but doesn't come to the show.
Like he'll comment on every event. See you there. Like we're
on
North
my
Dakota.
way.
Yeah.
Never shows up. We'll be in central Wyoming. He lives here. And
I can't wait for this show.
Yeah. Anything good on the menu? Oh, Jesus.
Like you pick up fans from especially in the South Dakota area, the Odenbachs, wonderful people, people from Indiana that chime in every once in a while. Prairie du Sac, Wisconsin, you got Stacy and Tracy Paul, who chime in on Facebook and all our things, and it just it makes me feel good. And I think makes them hurt inside.
It's due in large part. He's such a good social person after the show. He makes people feel welcome. And if you can feel a part of this thing that we're trying to do to bring comedy to small towns that otherwise wouldn't have access. I mean, it's a professional show. It's guys that kind of know what they're doing and, except West Bend, Wisconsin, but been waiting to say that the whole time.
Because I'm wearing a bomber shirt? Is that what this is?
No, it's because Molly had to suffer through what was one of the worst shows I think I've ever had in my life. It was terrible. And gosh, fighting over a fish fry or whatever that was kind of...
The venue didn't advertise it very well.
It was very
lovely.
interesting.
They all went out for fish fries and the Hobbit Trail was there.
There was I would say close to 70% of the people had no idea a comedy show was going to take place. Yeah. And I'm certain 100% of the staff that worked there was unaware that there was a comedy show coming that night. When we walked in and they're like, how many? We're the guys performing here tonight? What do you mean performing here tonight? Oh my God, this is going to suck.
I know because we did the Win a Date with Nate for that show, and I called to try to set stuff up with the owner, and nobody had a clue.
Nobody had a clue.
So how did that get booked?
Well, you talked to. I don't know. He talked to him, but it's the owner.
Yeah,
and then
the owner or manager or somebody.
Yeah,
okay. And then we go through a contract and everything like that.
Yeah.
So you'd think.
And that manager got fired?
No. Nope, she still owned the place when we got there. Right. Loved us for coming.
Yeah.
You guys were amazing.
It was a good show. I loved the show.
Oh, that's too
When I talked to her, she called me back because I was trying to get the gift certificate and everything.
Yeah.
She said, I'm pretty much doing this show for me. So if that gives you a better idea, is kind of what she told me.
Never, ever have that in your head.
For what you guys got for an audience, the way that you handled it, it was so professional, and you did such a good job with what you were handed.
You guys could have just took her in the back room and did the show for her.
For the manager?
Because that's
it was a company Christmas party for sure, definitely.
Yeah, it's those weird ones. But it's shocking how many times people say yes to a show. And so one of the things I send out a full marketing email follow-up, how to use the posters and everything, how to instruct your staff, how to sell tickets and everything. We build them a whole concept because this is something different than a band or karaoke or DJ or whatever. And they, the last thing says, I always start off with, there'll be a test at the end just to see if they read the whole email. Nobody ever does. And the last thing is we make a mini poster that can be handed out with every person who pays a tab or whatever, and take a picture, put some of these on a table and take a picture of them and send that to us to let us know that you actually printed the posters. Our favorite thing is to show up at the place and you see the posters that are all up and there isn't a single one that's wrinkled on a corner. Like especially the one on the door. Like they were put up that morning. And it's like, we had posters up the whole time.
The worst was in Okauchee Lake area. The bar we were traveling past it to do another show, so we just stopped in. That
was the 47 show. We did 47 shows and 47 nights on that run. That was our first show.
Oh, yeah, and we had a an opener that traveled with us that O'Day was dating at the time. And
Oh, mixing business with pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for bringing that up.
Dipping the pen in
Company
Hobbit
ink.
ink. Yeah.
It's a very short pen.
But so we stopped in just say, hey, maybe not every day you get a chance to go to an actual venue, see if they put
scout
up
it out.
posters and whatnot,
Well,
and check out the room.
And it was weird because they demanded, as part of the we in today's world, because the fees are way less than they were 20, 30 years ago in comedy. It's basically 25% of what it was in the mid 90s of what the pay is today. It's terrible. But because inflation doesn't exist, but we create the posters and you print them locally. So we send them in PDF form. And they demanded as part of the contract, well, there's a printer around here. I'm like, I'm from here. I know Okachi Lake, Pewaukee and Waukesha. They have printing company. I know 2 of them. And they demanded that we send them posters. So we print out these beautiful, there's a guy that uses this 100-year archival ink up at PostNet up in Mequon, right over here in Mequon. And he makes these beautiful posters at very reasonable prices. We FedEx next day air them to them. And the day we showed up to just stop in to see if they put up the posters, the box is sitting there behind the bar unopened, like a month and a half later. Like, you sons of bitches! You demanded these posters and then you didn't even put them up.
At least throw the box away so we don't know.
Just throw the whole
do
thing
that,
out.
yeah, right. Oh, it never showed up. So yeah, that's your life in this business is uncooperative people who've agreed to pay you for them maybe a substantial, maybe not so substantial amount of money. But whatever.
So when you get to a city, do you do any marketing for that show that night?
We used to.
Yeah, and the returns on that were pretty low. So we'd walk around to businesses and hand out flyers, and it was more for us. It was just fun to
Something to do.
Yeah, it's like doing crowd work, and barging into a lunchtime meeting.
And you can check out the town and
Yeah, you get to know the town a little bit. But like I say, I think we got 4 people total in 3 years off those flyers. So it's like, okay, Jamestown was the best one with the Walmart there. We got like 4 or 5 people from that show. So maybe a total of 8 in 4 years. But it was like a screw this. We're not going to keep walking around in 0-degree weather and 70-mile-an-hour wind in Montana to hand out flyers to people who just don't care. Yeah, right. Well, there's a bar in this town. Shut up.
we did one in a mall one time and almost got kicked out because we were advertising in the mall.
Yeah, it was
You
illegal.
were soliciting?
Yeah, we were soliciting. Yeah, it's like, really? So it's just, so you don't like to laugh, sir? Do you hate laughter?
No, I think I gave
Who
one to
touched you?
I think I gave one to the security guard
Yeah.
too. I go, come on, you need one.
You need this in your
Clearly,
life.
you need a laugh. Yeah, it's weird stuff like that. The challenges, and none of this is funny or anything like that. But yeah, it's a real business and it's a real thing, and there's a lot of work that goes into it, and we do that gigantic part of that. So if you've ever thought about working in the entertainment industry and you don't have any particular talent, we'd love to have you join
Seriously.
our team and be a promoter and creator of our show.
Get a hold of us on Facebook or the website, THT Comedy on Facebook and Twitter.
TheHobbitTrail.com.
If you like sleeping in vans. No.
Yeah. No, you never have to come
Yeah,
on the
you
road.
don't-
We
you don't
will
have to
not
come-
take you on
yeah.
the road. You will never have to smell any of this.
Yes, no.
It's just great.
All right, so what's your next big tour coming up? What do you got planned? What's on the horizon? Because I got some stuff planned for you guys too.
It's
We're
crazy.
we're going overseas.
Yeah, I got an England trip I'm working on. for
Oh,
you
that's
guys.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So.
He doesn't have a passport. The
I can get one.
So there's a group. There were 3 comedians out of the Pacific Northwest is the best way to say it because they're from different parts up there. But they did a thing called the Biggest Tour Ever Tour. And they did 50 shows in 50 states in 50 days.
Wow.
And it included the East Coast when Hurricane Sandy was coming through the New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia area. And their show got canceled because of the thing. So they ended up doing, in order to keep the streak intact for New Jersey, they did a show for 300 Red Cross volunteers and they did a show in the hotel banquet room with no lights, like literally people holding up flashlights because the power was out and wiped out. So,
Wow.
so that's a hard thing to one up. admittedly. So our plan is to do all 50 states in 50 days and then the 6 U.S. territories as well, plus DC. So it's a 57 shows. So we're talking Guam,
I was gonna say,
the Marshall Islands.
I was going to say, Tom, name the 6 U.S. territories.
So, yeah, that's a
Guam, Marshall Islands.
got you a kickoff there.
Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico,
the Virgin Islands?
Virgin Islands, yep. And that's 3 separate islands, so...
So is that the 6?
That's it. And so we, you have to start in Tokyo. You have to fly to Japan first.
It's not a part of the U.S., sir.
You have to start there because there's no way to get to Guam and then to the Marshall Islands in one day. You can't. There's no flight that makes it work. And in fact, the Guam show has to be at 4 p.m. so that we can get on the 6 p.m. plane to the Marshall Islands from Guam. So we literally have to do a show in the airport in Guam to get to the airport and then go up to Alaska and then fly down to Seattle and do that run like that. It unfortunately forces you into doing major cities where there are airports. And there's parts of it we would drive, obviously. But then
once you're in the lower 48, it's a little easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Alaska and Hawaii are going to be the hardest.
Exactly. So you do have that little thing where, yes, you can do Utah, Colorado, Arizona. You can do the 4 corners. You could literally knock out 4 states in a day if you just if you wore big enough shoes, just get across the border.
We should do at the 4 corners.
Do a show there.
Yeah, at the
just the mic stand right on the little monument thing there. Yeah. Yeah.
Get a stage that
get
rotates.
all 4 states in one show.
Shout out to you, Colorado. Did you get that, Utah? Yep. And so it's that's our big. If we had a dream tour, if we had a goal tour, that one would be the thing, because that's going to get you. They got some pretty serious media play just on their thing, 50-50-50 tour, and so we think that would be a thing pushing a thing. I think they got not Guinness, but another record keeper's record for longest, biggest tour ever. So so that would knock that off, and it would also get the Guinness record, but. Yeah, so the things like that are like I say, kind of dream shows and dream tours, but just to go out, if we were just doing 20 shows a month, 10 months out of the year and knock out 200 shows a year, that's where we've always wanted to be. Our best year was about 160 shows in a year, and that's, we'd love to get back to that too, but the climate right now is just, it's really I mean, this whole thing of everybody being butthurt over every little thing. Tight. Oh, yeah. It's crazy, which is why we love going where we go, because those are real people that work real jobs and have real difficult, hard lives. They have no time to be upset because you said a word during a 45-minute set of material, and they come up to you afterwards and, I don't like that you said cherish. That reminds me of a song my dad used to sing to me, and it just made me very upset, and I've been triggered because you said the word cherish. I was talking about my balls, lady. How do you... Jesus Christ. And that literally, I feel like it sounds like hyperbole, but it's almost that bad, and that's what you face. And so, yeah, it's a weird thing.
All right, so next Saturday, Meets Opera House.
Friday.
Meets Opera House.
Oh, it's Friday?
Friday the 15th.
Friday the 15th. Not Thursday the 14th?
Day after Valentine's.
Okay. We'll be there Friday. What time?
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. I thought it was Saturday. Good. Now we don't have to worry about the podcast.
Getting
or
your
anything.
sound system stolen.
Yeah. So. And I bet you're available on Friday night.
Come on, Mark.
I have a 18-month-old daughter.
Lock the baby in the closet.
So what? You have a bunch of grandparents.
I use them for when I work on the house.
I find if you put the baby in a car carrier on top of the vehicle,
she does like the breeze.
This time of year, it slows their metabolism and heart rate down so much that you've got a solid 4 or 5 hours before you even have to think about reviving them.
Don't have to feed them?
What was that? Wasn't there some cat that made the internet this week that was frozen had no signs of life, no pulse or anything, and like hours. 12 hours later, they brought it back to life.
Yeah, it just came back.
And how would you ever know if a cat had brain damage?
But it didn't come alone. It brought evil spirit. It flatlined.
That sounds like
it brought back Kevin Bacon.
That sounds like a Netflix movie all over the place. Get that original. Get that Netflix original.
Yeah.
Haunted
All right,
cats.
well, we can wrap this one up and get on with the bonus episode. We're running a little long, so
Oh, sorry.
that's fine.
I love
Made it very easy.
podcasting.
So,
I talk a lot.
Mark, where can they find us? Oh, everybody, real quick. Don't find us on.
I forgot I was at the show.
Don't
Love my
such a good
chair.
time.
I've been farting the whole time.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't look for us to comment back on Twitter. We're not doing Twitter commenting. We'll put our shows on there. We'll put our advertising on there, but we're not going to get in a back and forth.
Did someone actually say something on Twitter?
I think a couple people tried to hey, I messaged you on Twitter, and it's like we just don't do Twitter.
We're old men. We don't do the Tweety box.
We need Nate to handle our Twitter.
Hey, he can handle a lot. So do you hate Twitter in general? Is
No,
it because
we
of
just-
the medium or is it because of the tediousness of the
It
process?
is too
The
many
timing.
things.
Sure. Yeah. There's a limit for sure.
And you know what? We put something on Facebook, and it sends it out to Instagram and Twitter and this and that. So if you want to get a hold of us, we really just watch the Facebook because it kind of spiderwebs to the rest.
There you go, people. Get them
So-
through Facebook. And you're doing the Facebook Live, so they
Live.
can comment there. Molly does a great job of dropping in when people have commented something.
Yeah.
So,
Then
so you can get instant feedback, or you can wait to be annoyed on Twitter 6 months later.
You can get our advertising, you can get our shows, you can get all that stuff on Twitter, but you're not going to get like the
interaction.
the interaction
Yeah,
that
right.
that you want. You got to come to Facebook. Sorry guys, I can't watch all of them. Mark has got an 18-month-old. He's not
Mark
gonna
never
watch.
does anything.
Then you
Even
can get the
before the
bonus
child.
episode later on is it SoundCloud and
And
Twitch?
Patreon.
Patreon?
There you go.
Oh no, we're done with Twitch. We can't.
Can't do Twitch?
No, even though we just took down the second camera, we had 2 cameras set up, and we were going to stream one to Facebook, one to Twitch.
We have to do either or.
It's kind of like I said earlier, if you have 2 girlfriends and one of them finds out, you now have no girlfriends, so they would kick us off both.
No
They
way.
somehow
Yeah.
can tell. It's got to be the
It's
audio.
got to be the audio or something. But
Sure.
even though it's 2 different cameras, it's still in the agreement that we
That's
can't do that.
hilarious.
And then we're kicked off of both, so we're not even going to mess with Twitch.
Wow, that's a whole new episode. But that's exactly what the comedy booking world is like.
Yeah.
It is exactly like that.
work there, you can't work
It worked for us.
What?
But you book me 6 weeks a year.
Yeah.
I can't live on 6 weeks a year of $200 a show. Are you screw you, man? I got to be with every booker in the country. Well, you can't do that. Well, then how? All you're doing is creating slaves, you sons of bitches.
Yeah, we only work one comedy club, and it's only because there's a great barbecue place right near it.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
So are we done with liquid then? Is that it? Are we done with liquid laughs? I guess we're done.
In a way.
I guess we're done.
I don't never like.
Most of the comedy clubs have left us. It's been they've gone out of business. So we were doing 4 clubs remaining in the country, and 3 of them have gone out of business. So what are you gonna do? Drop back 15 and punt? So that's what you do.
All right, Mark.
All right.
You're up.
As Tom was saying, we are
Whoa, Molly.
sort of on Twitter. You can get our updates at Off the Rails TM. You want to contact us or get those same updates on Facebook, facebook.com/offtherailstm. Instagram is Off the Rails TM. Our website is Off the Rails TM. Our email is offtherailstm@gmail.com. I haven't checked the Ask Tom Anything, but don't forget to send your questions into AskTomAnything414@gmail.com. This podcast is available on SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, a bunch of other places. See our website for more details.
All right, thanks again, Hobbit Trail, Comic Nate Ford, and Brendan O'Day for coming. And remember, universe, we're not good enough.